Warriors dropping this just within the last half hour that Iguodala, who had that fractured wrist back on March the 13th against the Suns, he's been cleared to intensify on-court workouts and is expected to participate in team practices at some point in the next week. And so with the truncated nature of this series and every other day from start to finish for the duration of this series, that would put Iguodala, I would say, in the unlikely category to be able to play in this series. But if the Warriors can advance, that would seem to indicate that Iguodala's got a shot to be able to play in the Western Conference Finals should the Warriors get there. And you look at Game 3 today, Game 4 Monday, Game 5 Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, that Mother's Day Sunday if the thing goes to 7. But Iguodala being able to practice here at some point in the next week. Not a lot of practices when you're playing every other day, as the Warriors have been for the better part of a week and a half, bridging a couple of different series. But add Andre Iguodala potentially as somebody who could be a spot-minute player for the Warriors, maybe toward the final game or two of this series and even in a Western Conference Final series. So that's the big news coming out of Los Angeles here in the lead-up to this one. We'll go ahead and hear from the head coach of the Warriors, Steve Kerr. That coming up between 4:30 and 5 o'clock. We've got your keys to the game coming up as well. Eye on the stats. Also, you're taking it to the bank prediction, but just wrapping up the injury report in the lead-up for this one. Nothing else of note. Patrick Baldwin Jr. had been listed as questionable, been dealing with a toe issue. Ryan Rollins, of course, has been out with the foot surgery. LeBron James and Anthony Davis perpetually listed on the Lakers injury report. Mo Bamba also had been listed as questionable, but Bamba hasn't played at any point in this series. And LeBron James, of course, and Anthony Davis always going to be out there and playing for their squads. They just get the automatic nod, even as probable and now available to play for Game 3 of this series. All right, let's get everybody an opportunity to hear a great interview, which aired here on 95.7 The Game yesterday, as five-time NBA champion and former Defensive Player of the Year, Laker legend Michael Cooper joined the Steiny and Guru show. Evan Giddings was sitting in for Daryl the Guru Johnson yesterday, and the guys had a chance to chat with Coop and break down this Western Conference semifinal matchup between the Lakers and the Warriors.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it, man.
Gentlemen, thank you for having me.
I'm trying to think whether I want to start with your resume or whether I want to start with just a blunt question. I'll give you the blunt question. Were you a better defender than Draymond Green?
Well, I think I was a different type of defender. I think Draymond's more physical. I'm not saying that I wasn't, but Draymond's a bigger player at 6'8", 6'9", I guess. And I think he's willing to do whatever it takes for his team to win, whether it's dirty tactics or not. But again, he's getting the job done. But I was able to guard 1 through 4, and Draymond's able to guard 1 through 5.
Yeah, but the centers were different back in your day.
For sure. So I think if he had played in the 80s, no way he's going to be guarding Artis Gilmore or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Lambeer or some of those guys like that. But again, you know, in today's game, he's able to do that, and that makes him an extraordinarily good defender.
Coop, you played in 168 playoff games. It was something we were talking about earlier with the Lakers and the Warriors. LeBron James, he's played in nearly 280. When you were going through those wars over 12 postseasons, were there ever times where you felt like there wasn't a game that you needed? Because we're talking about must-wins and the Warriors getting back into this series and the Lakers maybe not having as much desperation as Golden State. Is that something that you as a player ever sensed, even though you played in a different era? The fact that you guys went through so many different battles with different teams, was there an occasional game here or there where you knew that it wasn't necessarily a must-win, and you could, kind of look ahead a little bit?
You know what, Pat Riley always mentioned championships are won on the road. So if we started our game at home, we knew a must-win game was going to be that next game on the opponent's court. And I think this game coming up is definitely going to be a must-win for the Lakers, even though it's a home game. And I know Golden State is still in the same way. So this is a big game for both teams, this next one coming up. But every time we play, if we had lost a game and it was going 1-1 somewhere, whether we were coming back home or going on the road, that third game was always a must-win. But, our team was built around every game was important for us, because it was about getting the series over with. And going back to what you said about LeBron playing all those games, you got to remember, we didn't have load management back then, so we were playing 82 games our regular season. We didn't sit out 50 games and try to save our energy for the playoffs. So I think our schedule or my 168 games were a little bit more grueling because I tried to play 82 games all the way through the course of the season and then went into the playoffs and did whatever we did then.
Michael Cooper joining us. He's a 5-time NBA champion with the LA Lakers. That's actually an interesting point that I hadn't thought of, but now I'm putting myself back in the 80s, Michael, and the East was brutal, and Boston would have to get by Detroit. Milwaukee was good, and Philly. And the idea of you guys wanting to get series over in a hurry because that's the way you got more rest, I think is very interesting.
Oh, for sure. And, again, as you finish off the regular season and get into the playoffs, and especially those first rounds and you get by that, you wanted to get these games. The more you extend it, the more fatigued you were going to be and the more likely somebody would get injured. So for us, it was about if we had a team down 2-0, we were going in for the kill because we know if we got that third game, we could possibly get this series over in 5.
Right.
And I think players are definitely looking like that. I'm loving this series. The Lakers-Golden State Warriors was a great game. I knew the Lakers were going to lose last night. I just had a feeling because Golden State had expended a lot of energy in that Sacramento 7th game that there was a good chance if the Lakers were going to steal a game, it would be that first game at home. But expect the Warriors to come back. They have the heart of a champion. They understand what's going on. They got that last game. And this next game is going to be important. I don't think either team is thinking about getting this over with in a hurry.
Right.
Because, again, you got two teams. I think the Lakers are a very formidable foe. I think the Lakers are going to win a championship this year. And if they can get by this series here, which I think they will, probably be a 7-game series, then they can think about that. But right now, you can't think about getting this team 4-1, 4-2. You got to look at it game by game and just win the games that you can. And hopefully if it gets over in 6, then you can get it done, or in 5, in any case it goes. But for sure, it's going, you're looking forward to that 7th game.
Michael Cooper joining us on 95.7 The Game, a mainstay of the Lakers dynasty in the 1980s. Michael, the one thing that I think is different now than it used to be is it feels like after every single playoff game, we say, oh, well, now the Warriors are going to win the series. And the Lakers will win Game 3, and we'll say, oh, now it's over. The Lakers are going to win the series. And then subsequently, the Warriors would win. You played a Game 1 in the mid-'80s against the Celtics. You got beaten Game 1, 148-114. It has a nickname, the Memorial Day Massacre.
Yeah.
And you won. You won that series. So my question is, what happened after Game 1 when you got run out of the building?
Well, we got beat, and I think that was 1985.
Yep.
And what we did is after that game, we had a reflection on 84. And, me growing up here in Los Angeles, watching how the Celtics beat the Lakers with some of the great Laker teams that they've had with Elgin Baylor, West, and Chamberlain, we just shook ourselves. And Coach Riley put it on us. We watched that game twice in stop time. Every time we did something wrong after that game, we came straight back to the hotel, went straight to a ballroom and watched the game for 2 hours. So we were up to like 10:30, 11, and he just challenged us. And, we had enough. We had to reevaluate ourselves because the Celtics were being physical with us in 84. They came out that first game and got real physical with us, and we just had to man up at that time. And I think what you're seeing now is trying to compare that series with what's happening today. I think the Warriors have made their punch. They threw their punch. Lakers now are coming home. You can't rest on your laurels. You got to make your adjustments and come on out. And I think, obviously, AD having a monster game he had that first game, he has to reevaluate himself because you can't come out the second game and play that. Was it 7.4 rebounds or whatever? You got to come with your A game every time because you are playing the defending champions, and they're not going to go down easy.
Well, you're talking about not going down easy. They went 7 games with Sacramento, but before Game 7, it was reported there was a speech made by Stephen Curry, took the mic, established both what he wanted to accomplish and what he wanted from his teammates. I'm curious, as someone who's been in a locker room with the likes of Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was there any, I don't know if it was a speech, some sort of conversation in which they led that you felt like galvanized your group to the point of, maybe it's not in the finals, but when you guys had your backs up against the wall, was there a time when Magic or Kareem took the floor the way that Stephen Curry did with Golden State?
Well, you know what? Magic did it. The 1980, when we were missing Kareem in that sixth game going to Philadelphia, Magic, he just said a sentence. He got on the plane. He saw that everybody was kind of nervous and Cat wasn't going to be there. And he said, you know what? Have no fear. Magic Johnson's here. And when you got a young guy like that saying that, going to Philadelphia, and, the rest is history because he had 42 points, 15 rebounds, 15 assists, those type of statements from at that time, Magic wasn't necessarily our leader. Kareem was kind of our leader. But for him to take that torch and to step up and say that kind of put us at ease. And we went into that next game and did. So great players do things that they have to do. And Steph Curry making that statement, I'm glad to hear that because, again, they were drained in that seventh game, the things that he did. And now to come back and make that statement for this second game to get his team back up and fired and ready to go, that's what you expect of your leaders. And you know what? At one point in time, it's going to be Steph. One time it may have to be Draymond. One time it may have to be Wiggins. Somebody's going to have to do it almost every game because adjustments are constantly being made. But Steph Curry, as Magic did in 1980, he has set the standard for what's going to be happening. So, the Lakers going to have to be ready this next game because this could, you did what you're supposed to do. You went and got a game on the road. You split, you come home. You got to take care of business. And the business at hand is tomorrow, first game at home.
Wasn't that the game Magic sat in Kareem's seat on the plane?
Yep, same thing. But he got in before, and as he walked on the plane, he looked at all of us because back then we flew domestic and we had all the first class. Like, what's wrong with you guys? And everybody was kind of like, what? And he said, hey, listen, have no fear. Magic Johnson is here. And he turned around and he sat in that first seat right up front. And, right. I mean, that was, the words weren't as dynamic as him sitting in Cap seat because we were kind of like, oh, that's holy ground. Nobody sits there. Everybody gets – no, he sat there. And he let us know that he was going to be the leader.
Yeah, wow. He was that night. If I remember correctly, I want to say Keith Wilkes might have, or Jamal had 37 that night, maybe, or 30.
Hey, that's the thing about it. Magic had such a fantastic game. They forgot about Jamal Wilkes had a career-high 37 points.
Yeah.
That was overshadowed by that game. Michael Cooper had a career-high 17 points. First playoff game.
I'm sorry, who?
First playoff game ever. So everybody had big moments in that game, but it was all instituted and instrumented by Magic Johnson making his statement for all of us to stand up and be good. And you know what? The perfect example, he said that the other night, who steps up? Klay Johnson has a big monster game. So, again, hopefully the Lakers are doing that, but the Lakers just have to make their adjustments.
Let me check that box. I got Coop for 16 points.
16, okay.
I got Coop 4 for 9.
Career high. I'd only been averaging like 6 or 7 points a game.
Yeah, you played though. You played you were part of the rotation. That was only your second year. So
exactly.
Man, hey, Michael. I try to tell the kids now how it was, but they don't want to hear it. I'm looking at your bio right now. 5 straight years we played all 82 games. And now they're load managed.
That was a badge of honor. I mean, back in those days, guys didn't want to miss games, especially on our team, because we always felt if you missed, somebody on the bench was going to say, hey, man, you playing tonight? And you say, no, okay, I got you. So those minutes were going to be absorbed by somebody, and you may not be able to get them back. So that was our flag badge of honor, so to say. But in today's game, because players are so bigger, stronger, faster, and things are moving a lot faster, and the game is more toward the offensive player where it's up-tempo, and that's why you have these high-scoring games. Load management can be a good and a bad thing. Because right now, when you're playing, you got to keep that rhythm. You got to keep that flow. So if you stop playing for a game or two, you got to get that back up. So, again, they do that in the regular season so that these guys can play these minutes now. That's my thinking.
No, it's interesting you say that, Coop, because after Game 1, Darvin Ham was asked about Anthony Davis's performance, how great it was, and him playing the entire second half. And his response was, that's why we load manage games. A player of yourself, a player that played 82 games, that prided themselves on being available and being effective as well, is that just a difference of eras? Or how do you feel when you hear a head coach literally cite load management not only admitting to it, but it also playing a role in being effective in helping one of his star players in the playoffs.
Well, like I said, it can work both ways, but I think the players in our era, and this is something that I think today's game has lost a little bit, and the guys got to get back to realizing it. You play for these fans. People pay to come see you play. That's why you get these monster contracts. So in a sense, we always said we owe it to the fans, whether it be at home or on the road, to come out and at least try. Come out there for 3 or 4 minutes. If you don't have it that night, hey, coach, I don't have it. But at least the fans can see you out there because they want to see you. You know, you come, especially you go to the East. When we only go to Boston, Philadelphia, New York one time. So just the game before, the coach is, okay, I'm going to load management this guy. Hey, you got to remember, there's fans that are there, L.A. fans in New York that want to see you play. So for me, it was always about giving it back to the fans. And today's game is a little bit different. I understand what Coach Ham is trying to do, but again, you know, I wasn't that type of player. I wanted to, if I could get up and down the court and play, or get out and do layups, I was going to at least give it a try, hurt or not.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, we got to rewrite history here because everybody talks about Magic replacing Kareem. Well, Magic started every game. You were the guy who started really in place of Kareem that night because you'd been coming off the bench that whole series. He didn't pick Landisberger or Brad Holland.
You know what? I almost wet my jockstrap that night when they told me I was going to start. I was like, what? You're taking me out of my role. But you know what? We had been so accustomed to stepping out of roles that year because we had players. Kareem was hurt for a couple of games. Magic was hurt. So, again, I was scary, but I still went out there and did my job. And I was glad that I got to do that because I got a chance to show not only the team, but the world of basketball that Michael Cooper could play this game.
Yeah, he could. He sure could. Let me ask you this. You're coaching high school basketball. What kind of coach are you like?
Well, I got a mixture of Pat Riley, a little bit of Jerry West, and my college coach, Norm Ellenberger, in me. But, again, Pat Riley was very attention to detail and went over our practices real good. And I'm not a screamer. I do all my screaming in practice if I have to do it. But when the game starts, I just kind of like let the kids play. But I'm a demanding coach, not a coach that get up and walk up and down the sideline. When necessary, I'll do that. But I'm a sitter. I'll sit and watch. And so, I mean, it makes it comfortable. We had a very good season this past season. A team that really wasn't supposed to go anywhere. They said in our league, we're in the Bay League, and although we're a small 3A, they said we wouldn't win one game. Well, we won 8 games, and we were a game away from making it to state. So we had a very successful year, and we look for bigger and better things next year.
Terrific.
Coop, I'm curious because you mentioned the legend Pat Riley, and a lot is made in playoff series of adjustments, and Steve Kerr or a certain head coach playing chess. Like, how many adjustments did Pat Riley make over the course of a playoff series, if any?
You know what? You always make an adjustment. When you win a game, you kind of like leave things the same, whether it's the rotation of players or whether it was a defense or an offensive set. If the adjustments are made when you lose that game. So there's going to be probably 4 adjustments that both teams will have to make. Obviously, the Lakers, it's their turn to make the adjustments. Golden State has made theirs. This next game is going to require whoever wins, there'll be another adjustment made. So it's not going to be anything drastic where fans will actually see. It might be the Michael Green, the kid that came in for Looney. Okay, Green. That's an adjustment. He hadn't been playing at all. Got very few minutes for Golden State in the Sacramento series. Now he's a starter in the second game because they need that adjustment. They need his jump shot. So Riles wasn't really big on a lot of adjustments. They're just very subtle ones because you got to keep that boat flowing and you got to keep things as normal as possible. But we do know as a team and as players that something has to be, especially when you lose a game. Something has to change, whether it be a 3 defense a little bit more or man-to-man or whatever it is, an adjustment will be made. And the Lakers now have to make their adjustments after this loss. And, you're going to always see it's definitely going to be a chess match.
Mm-hmm. Coop, I keep telling the kids that when Kevin McHale took Kurt Rambis's head off, that was a common foul.
And we definitely made an adjustment.
Yeah, you did. You absolutely did.
A little bit more physical with all of them. But again, those are the type of things that you see that players have to make at the spur of the moment in the game.
Yeah.
But as far as coaches, and you know what? You're right. Common foul, got a technical out of that, and we got up and kept on playing. Today's game, they spend 2 minutes kind of looking at it, referees discussing, and then, okay, if it's a flagrant 2, guy gets kicked out, a flagrant 1. Back then, hey, I'm a spontaneous guy. Make that play, make that call right there. Let's move on.
Yeah. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Really, really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the series, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right, good stuff there from Michael Cooper, the Laker legend, 5-time NBA champion, the former Defensive Player of the Year, and he could defend at a high level, no question about it. And a big part of this series is how do the Lakers impose their will defensively on the Warriors, who were able to do their thing in Game 2 after struggling for a good chunk of Game 1 up until the point in which the Warriors got down 14 with about 6 minutes to go, then had the 14-0 run, but the Lakers, who were comfortable enough offensively themselves, were able to score the final 5 and take Game 1. But again, that 84-47 stretch where the Warriors dominated in those middle 2 quarters, everything flipped, and the Lakers turned their attention to Game 3, down 30 going to the fourth quarter. So great conversation there. Wonderful to give you an opportunity here on Warriors Live to hear that chat from yesterday. John Dickinson back here at Crypto.com Arena in downtown Los Angeles. Warriors and the Lakers, Game 3, Western Conference semifinals. Just about 70 minutes or so away from tip-off here in this Game 3, with the Warriors trying to get the jump in this series, get home court advantage back now that the Lakers stole it after taking the opener of this series on Tuesday night. And, of course, the Warriors have won a road playoff game in the 28 consecutive series going all the way back to 2013, the very first series that Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green played in together. The first one and every single one since, going all the way back to Denver 10 years ago in that first round. Warriors winning that series and then winning a game in San Antonio. They won a game in this building when it was known as Staples Center in the 2014 playoffs against the Clippers in the first round. Warriors ultimately lost that series. That was the last Western Conference series that the Warriors lost 9 years ago in 2014, but they did win Game 1 of that series in this building over the Clippers, and again, every single one throughout the championship dynasty era from 2014-15 all the way through the opening round series wins in Sacramento in Game 5 with the series tied at 2 apiece, and in Game 7 with the series tied in the do or die as we roll on here on Warriors Live on 95.7 The Game. We're brought to you by the Next Generation 10G Network, only from Xfinity, coming up between now and 5 o'clock. We'll get you keys to the game, your eye on the stats, also taking it to the bank prediction as the Warriors and Lakers just over an hour away from tip-off from Los Angeles. John Dickinson with you here on Warriors Live on 95.7 The Game.
At West Credit Union, we're working towards a brighter financial future for both our members and our community, knowing that when you succeed, we all succeed. That starts with a solid financial foundation. As a credit union, we have no stockholders demanding profits. Our commitment is to our members. Experience the difference with our Money Market Max Bonus promotion, offering a cash incentive for letting us protect and grow your money. West Credit Union, working for you. Today, tomorrow, together. West Credit Union is insured by NCUA.
Sail GP returns to San Francisco for the Mubadala Sail GP Season 3 Grand Final May 6th and 7th. Experience a fan-focused 2-day spectacle of exhilarating races, intense rivalries, and action-packed entertainment. Witness the most exciting racing on water in person at the San Francisco Bay just off Marina Green, with the racecourse set between Alcatraz Island and the Golden Gate Bridge. Who will be crowned the next Sail GP champion? Find out at the Sail GP Grand Final May 6th and 7th. Get your tickets at sailgp.com. That's sailgp.com.
Who doesn't love shopping for a new car? It's so much fun. But shopping for financing, nobody likes to do. Luckily, First NorCal Credit Union can help. With rates, they've got low rates, 3.99% APR. And you could save big by skipping that dealer financing and apply the manufacturer rebate to your down payment. Visit firstnorcalcu.org to learn more. Must qualify for membership. Rates subject to change without notice. Loan subject to credit approval. 3.99 annual percentage rate based on 36-month term and 780 FICO score. 29.52 per $1,000 borrowed.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Guys, fellas, men, do you want a better sex life? Roman has genuine medication and helps you achieve and maintain what you need to perform. Roman has discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. Roman has testosterone testing and treatment. Treating low testosterone can help revive your sex drive. So men, what are you waiting for? For a better sex life, go to ro.co/bettersex. Do it today and get 20% off. That's ro.co/bettersex.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTRCM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The reviews are in for McDonald's hotter, juicier burgers. Let's hear what Hamburglar has to say.
Bravo, bravo.
What our old friend Hamburglar said is, the patties are juicier. The bun is a thing of beauty. The cheese perfectly melted.
Bravo.
My burger dreams have come true. You heard him, folks. These are McDonald's best burgers ever. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Bravo.
Available at most restaurants in this area. Comparison of McDonald's classic burgers to prior burgers.
Come into Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill and see an amazing selection of Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliances live and on display in one of the largest living kitchens in the country. And save with Full Suite Savings Event. With qualifying purchase, get 3 additional years of protection or qualify for a $1,000 rebate. For the largest selection of Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliances, visit the Living Kitchen at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill or at friedmansappliance.com.
Since first opening its doors in 1964, Fremont Bank has approached banking with a simple idea in mind. Growth comes one customer at a time. You see, while some institutions might be on the lookout for the next big thing, we like to think that's what you'll be. And when you achieve great things, it leads to success throughout the community. It also allows us to continue our tradition of giving back to the region. It's a strategy that's proven successful for nearly 60 years, and we expect to continue success for years to come. Fremont Bank, putting the community in community banking.
Now, back to Warriors Live, presented by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity. On 95.7 The Game.
John Dickinson back in Los Angeles, Crypto.com Arena, getting you closer to the Warriors and the Lakers. It's Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinals right here on 95.7 The Game. Game 3 to be played in just about an hour. Game 4 to be played right back in this building on Monday night, 7 o'clock tip. And, of course, we're going to have you covered for that one as we do for each and every Warriors game right here on 95.7 The Game. Keys to the game coming up. Eye on the stats, taking it to the bank prediction as we are brought to you by the Next Generation 10G Network. Only from Xfinity, the future starts now, and we'll also give you an opportunity to hear from Steve Kerr in his pregame press conference downstairs in the interview room here in Los Angeles, declining to divulge his starters for Game 3, as is his playoff and sometimes regular season custom. However, we will give you a little sneak peek and not do the full injury report as we did at the beginning of the show, but we will update you on Kevon Looney, who Steve Kerr said is feeling a lot better after falling ill in the couple of hours leading up to Game 2 on Thursday night. JaMychal Green wound up getting the nod as the starting center. And I'm watching JaMychal Green right now work on his corner three-point shot, along with Steph Curry out on the floor, working with Bruce Frazier as well. And JaMychal Green, wow, 15 points for him in Game 2, and a much-needed 15 to help offset the way the Lakers were looking to defend the Warriors. A lot of wide-open looks for JaMychal Green on that corner spot that he's working on here as we speak. But Kevon Looney, good to go, fully healthy, only playing the 11 to 12 minutes in the game on Thursday night. And so good news on that front, although we'll see the Warriors having success with the smaller lineup and having a player in JaMychal Green who, as talented as Kevon Looney is, and as much as the Warriors need Kevon Looney's presence in the paint and his rebounding ability, JaMychal Green is the kind of player that is more of a threat offensively, especially in ways that can help make the Lakers pay for the way they've chosen to defend. And anytime, really, that the Lakers have faced a Warriors team with multiple non-scorers on the floor or non-threats to be scorers on the floor, it's been problematic for the Warriors in this series, including that starting lineup with Kevon Looney and Draymond Green in it. I think that's why we saw less of Gary Payton II in Game 2 of this series compared to Game 1. And I think it's part of the reason why we haven't seen a lot of Jonathan Kuminga, or any really of Jonathan Kuminga outside of mop-up duty in Game 2. You got to have players out there on the floor that are threats to at least be scorers, and the Warriors have tried to do a better job of putting those lineups on the floor from Game 1 to Game 2, and we'll see how it all shakes out as far as Game 3 goes in this one tonight. All right, Warriors Live here from Los Angeles, sponsored by Xfinity, with John Dickinson coming to you here for the next 20 minutes or so as we get you closer to the Warriors and the Lakers in Game 3, and the Warriors trying to continue the momentum. As much as momentum exists, I don't think it matters a whole hell of a lot in a lot of these playoff series. Certainly didn't from Game 1 to Game 2 after the Warriors were able to get cooking in the middle chunk of Game 2 and ride that to a 127-100 victory. All right, let's get to the keys to the game. Keys to the game brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. First NorCal has it all. Low auto loan rates, a super easy online application, and friendly, helpful agents. They can get you a low rate and help you save big by skipping the dealer financing and applying any dealer rebates to your down payment. Visit firstnorcalcu.org for more details. The adjustments typically on the team who loses the most recently played game, and that would be the Lakers in this one, with the Warriors winning on Thursday night in downtown San Francisco. Although the Warriors, I think, keys for them more the same from what they were able to do. I would anticipate JaMychal Green winds up remaining in the starting lineup, although Steve Kerr didn't reveal it, just to, again, have that threat of another shooter, especially from the corner out there on the floor at the beginning of the game. And if it doesn't work, so be it. JaMychal Green can play the first 4 to 6 minutes of each half, and then you can go another direction, whether it's going smaller by inserting a guard into the lineup, or whether it's putting Kevon Looney into the lineup, and you start your center rotation moving forward from there. And so I would think JaMychal Green starts again, even in this game here in Southern California. There's a lot of Draymond Green on Anthony Davis in Game 2. I think that's something that the Warriors are going to want to stick with. Foul trouble prevented it. And Steph Curry right now putting on a show. You may hear a little of the cheers in the background, but Curry going through his pregame warm-up and shooting them from just in front of the L on the Lakers logo at center court. And he hit 4 out of 5 from that distance. I know there's been a lot made of Curry and some of the shooting woes in this building for Laker games with the theater lighting, as opposed to the Clipper games where it's a much brighter environment and the whole building is lit up more. The stands are kind of in the theater darkness, while the court is lit up like a stage for Laker games, and there's going to be a lot of stars on hand for sure here at Crypto. But Steph going through his pregame routine and looking good, hitting 4 of the 5 from way deep, probably 35 or so feet out, brushing right up to the L in Lakers across the logo at the center circle. So, yeah, Steph Curry hasn't had the nuclear game yet in this series, really controlled the game, dominated the game with the pass, dominated the game with more true point guard abilities in Game 2, and really took advantage of the way the Lakers were trying to defend. More Curry on the ball, and I had it wrong leading up to Game 2. More Curry on the ball, that part was right. More Curry on the ball looking to cook for himself, not so much. It was more Steph Curry on the ball looking to cook for others and really penetrate and in a disciplined manner be able to get his teammates involved in the game and get them going. Klay Thompson, a big part of that with the 11 of 18 and the 8 of 11 overall from three-point range and a plus 28 on the night. So, yeah, Curry's command, I think, something the Warriors are going to look forward to in this one. Warriors did a much better job taking twos in front of Anthony Davis and also drawing Anthony Davis out and being able to get by him. Draymond Green with a hell of a job using the fact that he was just going to be unguarded by the Lakers in this series to his advantage, putting his head down a couple of times with a wide open lane and getting to the bucket for some layups and dunks, a la what Draymond was able to do in the first round series against Sacramento, in particular in Game 5, where the Kings were just not defending him, but the Kings were leaving these wide open lanes for Draymond to be able to attack, and Draymond was much more on the attack in that game compared to the first game of this series. And Draymond, I mean, just looked like he was shot out of a cannon in the Game 2 after the foul trouble wrecked his Game 1. Warriors didn't have to play a lot of zone. They did it in trying to get themselves back into the game in Game 1. I think that's something the Dubs have in their back pocket, and also potentially sending some double teams at Anthony Davis and trust that the Lakers won't make three-pointers as Klay Thompson takes the floor for his early warm-up here to a lot of boos from the Laker crowd and some cheers from the Warrior fans that are on hand here inside Crypto.com arena. And, of course, Klay growing up a supreme Laker fan, and Michael Thompson doing the radio broadcast for the Lakers and coming to a lot of these games in the Laker early 2000s dynasty era with Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant and Phil Jackson and the like. So special series for Klay. And Klay put it on the team that he rooted for as a kid in Game 2, 30 points in the 31 minutes. More of that for the Warriors. I tell you something, the Warriors shoot 21 and make 21 threes for the duration of this series, the bulk of this series. They're winning this series if they do that. You could make the case, hey, how did the Lakers even win one of the first two with the Warriors making the three-pointer at the level that they did? Though I think in looking at this game moving forward, I think you have to anticipate that the hot shooting may not find its way on the road. If it does, you'd love to have it. But I think getting scoring from others, not Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, Wiggins and Jordan Poole in particular, I think, especially if the three-point shot isn't falling, is going to be paramount. I expect a lot of physicality from the Lakers. They talked a lot about the officiating and almost the need for them to have a free throw advantage to help offset the advantage the Warriors have had in terms of shooting in this series and three-point shooting in this series. The Lakers made up for it in Game 1 because they got a bunch of paint points. They were a plus 26 in the paint. They were a plus 20 on the Warriors in terms of the free throw line and points scored at the free throw line. So they offset what was that 45-point edge that the Warriors had in Game 1 from 3. And that ultimately was how the Lakers were able to win the game. I think a lot of physicality and daring the officials to call fouls in an attempt to really ramp up the defense. I think that's going to be a key for the Lakers. And the key quote from the pregame press conference of Darvin Ham, the head coach of the Lakers, and this one was telling. He was asked about different adjustments and things that his team has to do, and he said, feed AD the ball relentlessly. Anthony Davis, be on the lookout, like they did in Game 1, trying to feed him the rock relentlessly. and try to draw fouls and try to get paint touches, which can lead to points on the perimeter, but can also lead to points in the paint first and foremost, which is where the Lakers thrived, both getting to the line and in the paint in Game 1. I wonder if maybe we see a little Malik Beasley in this series for the Lakers as well. I think he's the one card that hasn't totally been played among Lakers that haven't been seeing any meaningful action in the first 2 games. So those are your keys to the game, brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. Again, First NorCal has it all. Visit firstnorcalcu.org. We'll pause here. We'll come back. We'll get you the eye on the stats. Also, taking it to the bank prediction as Warriors Live will continue from Crypto.com Arena with John Dickinson here on 95.7 The Game.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you. And now they have an app delivering a mechanic to your door, just like a restaurant delivery app. Kirby does it all with brake and tire replacements, oil changes, washes, and more. Kirby is the ultimate convenience with easy booking, transparent pricing, on-time arrival, service in your driveway. Get $50 off your first oil change with the code OIL50. That's OIL50. Check out Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Attention facility professionals, property managers, and building owners. Earn free education credits and network with the top professionals by attending the West Coast Buildings and Facilities Management Conference this May 23rd and 24th at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. Sponsored by BOMA, IFMA, ABC, and NECA. This event is your one-stop shop for all things buildings and facilities throughout the Bay Area. Register to attend today and receive free lunch and parking. This event is free for all qualified professionals. Register online at proexpos.com. That's PROEXPOS.com.
Now, back to Warriors Live. Presented by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet. Only from Xfinity. On 95.7 The Game.
Rolling along here from Crypto.com Arena in downtown Los Angeles. Game 3, Warriors and the Lakers coming up here on 95.7 The Game. 5:30, the tip. Stephen Curry concluding his early warm-up out on the floor. Klay Thompson out there going through his paces, as well as the Warriors and the Lakers getting set to go here coming up in just under an hour on 95.7 The Game. We're going to hear from Steve Kerr in just a moment. Also want to let everybody know about the officials for this ball game tonight. All eyes on the officials and how this game is called. That's been a major storyline early in this series. David Guthrie, Bill Kennedy, Mitchell Irvin are the 3 officials for Game 3 tonight here in Los Angeles. Brett Barnaky is the alternate. Rodney Mott and Sean Wright are in the replay center. David Guthrie and Bill Kennedy, for those of you who are into that sort of thing, did officiate Warriors-Kings Game 6, which obviously didn't go well for the Warriors, but no judgment there as now Draymond Green steps out to the floor as Stephen Curry steps in, and Draymond Green now going through some dribbling drills out at half court as Steph heads back to the Warriors locker room. Klay Thompson working on those top of the key three-pointers right now, and the Warriors and the Lakers continuing their early warm-up. But yeah, David Guthrie, Bill Kennedy, Mitchell Irvin here for Game 3. Let's get to the Eye on the Stats, brought to you by Goodman Eye Center. When it comes to your vision, be sure to go with a winning team. Go to Dr. Daniel Goodman and his team at the Goodman Eye Center. The choice of champions. Schedule a free consultation today at goodmaneyecenter.com. 21 three-pointers for the Warriors. Our Eye on the Stat for this one. In consecutive games, the 21, a franchise playoff record, which they've done 4 times, and they've matched it in each of the first 2 games of the series. Warriors doing it in Game 1 and Game 2 of this semifinal series in the West. Warriors also attempted a franchise record 53 three-pointers in the first game of this series. And Klay Thompson, a big part of the party from 3 for the Warriors in Game 2. Klay, his 6th career playoff game with 8 or more three-pointers, 8 of 11 from 3. That's the most in NBA playoff history, the 8 of 11 on Thursday night. Ray Allen, Steph Curry, and Damian Lillard each have 4 playoff games with 8 or more, but Klay leads the way with 6. That, your Eye on Stats, brought to you by the Goodman Eye Center. All right, let's go ahead and let everybody get a chance to hear the head coach of the Warriors, Steve Kerr, as he met with the media just about 45 minutes or so ago downstairs in the interview room here at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles.
How you doing, Steve? Just looking at how well your team defended without fouling in Game 2 compared to Game 1, and that was a key part of eating up that differential from Game 1.
Yeah.
How are you able to kind of look at this series, know that the Lakers are really good at both getting to line and keeping teams off the line, and obviously the Warriors have struggled with that. How did you see that success in Game 2 and think that can be sustainable over the course of the rest of the series?
Well, we were definitely the aggressor, and it may sound like a paradox, but I think when you are the aggressor, you tend to get the benefit of the doubt from the officials. So when you're the aggressor and you're playing hard, you're playing fast, there's some plays maybe that could go either way, and the team that is really playing with that force and that energy like they did in Game 1, game tends to go in your direction.
That's a good follow-up. Obviously, you got a venue change, so things go a certain type of way at home, and then you come on the road, sometimes they change. How do you kind of prepare your team, understanding that, we're dealing with humans, right? So you're going to play differently at home than you do on the road. I'm sure you've gotten that question all year. So how do you kind of prepare your team for that when it's the postseason?
Well, you always talk about adjustments and possible adjustments that the other team will make. And so you remind your own team that the biggest adjustment that the Lakers will make is just how hard they're going to play. The energy that they'll play with, the force that comes in this building from their fans, all of that is the most important factor in today's game, not so much how they defend our pick and roll or how they match up with us. It's the force, the energy, and our ability to match that and exceed it in order to take control of the game.
Jim? Steve, is Looney available full go today?
Yeah, he's feeling a lot better. I talked to him this morning, and he's doing well. And no, I'm not going to tell you who's starting. I could see it in your eyes, yeah.
Hi, Steve. What has Andre Iguodala been able to do lately, and what does his kind of next few weeks look like for him?
He's been on the court the last few days, and he hasn't done any full contact work, but he's getting a lot of ball handling, and defensive slides and that sort of thing. So he's getting more and more work in each day, and he's getting closer to possibly being able to play.
Center, third row.
Steve, could you kind of reflect on D'Angelo's time with the Warriors, and what have you thought about what he's been able to bring the Lakers?
Great shooter and passer. He came to us to partner with Steph. Remember, Clay was injured that year, and then Steph got hurt 5 games in, and so it wasn't really a fair assessment for D'Angelo with our team and for our team with D'Angelo because of the injuries, because of where we were that whole year. I enjoyed coaching him. He's a great guy. He's a really high IQ player. You can see that in this series, how smart he is, how skilled he is. In the end, I think the trade we made was good for both parties. We really needed to shore up our wing defense, having lost so many of our top wing defenders that year, and he was able to go to Minnesota, and then here where he's had a lot of success.
Front row, Mark.
It's been good to see you. How do you think Wiggs has been coming along since getting acclimated with the group again?
How do I think Wiggs has been coming
along since he rejoined the group?
Good. Yeah, he's I think he got his conditioning back pretty quickly. Just took him a few games against Sacramento to be able to play 35 minutes, which is pretty incredible given that he missed 10 weeks. And then I think his rhythm is still coming. He's been a little up and down with his shooting, but he's capable of having a game where he makes 5 or 6 threes, and we know that's coming. I'm just thrilled to have him back because of everything that he brings to the table. I think last game, I want to say maybe he was 3 for 8 from the field, and he was plus 35. He doesn't have to make a ton of shots for us to win, but he has to defend and rebound and play with force because he represents a lot of our length and athleticism, and we have to be able to match what the Lakers are putting on the court. So Wiggs does that.
Yeah, the Warriors are going to need more from Andrew Wiggins in that department, I think, without a doubt. He looked a lot more energetic in Game 2 compared to Game 1, and it's been a little hit or miss for Andrew Wiggins, I think, through the playoffs with games where he's looked a lot more physically in tune, and I think times where maybe he's looked like somebody a little bit that's still trying to push through a barrier of not playing for 2 months in the lead up toward the playoffs. But he was really good, a game high plus 35 for Andrew Wiggins in Game 2, even though he only had 11 points. But he was doing it defensively and moving the ball, and just a good, positive, springy, bouncy energy from Andrew Wiggins, which was a welcome sight for the Warriors and a big part of why they were able to get the win and do it in blowout fashion. Final minute or so here, Warriors Live on 95.7 The Game, brought to you by the Next Generation 10G Network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Make sure you join me after the ball game. I'll be right back here at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. We'll be taking your phone calls and your text messages, reacting to this one. We'll keep it going as deep into the night as you want in reacting to Game 3 between the Warriors and the Lakers. Let's get to the Take It to the Bank prediction. Who's going to take it to the bank for the Warriors tonight? Sponsored by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises. And I'm going to roll with Steph Curry, putting to bed in this one on the ABC Saturday Night Showcase stage of him not shooting the ball well in this building when the Laker floor is down with the Laker lighting. I think big game from Steph, the first semi-nuclear scoring game from Steph in this series, because the Warriors are going to know that they need it, and he's going to know that he has to deliver. So big game from Steph. Your Take It to the Bank prediction, sponsored by Fremont Bank. Full-service banking, no compromises. We'll talk to you after the game from L.A., but Tim Roy, he's got the call, and it's all coming up next. Warriors and Lakers, Western Conference semifinals. It's Game 3, and it's all coming up right here on 95.7 The Game.
Here's home improvement news from Dolan's. Replace those old interior doors with exclusive doors you design yourself. Create your style with your own personal choices at Dolan's. doors that are made just for you. The door experts at a Dolan's showroom will help you design your own amazing interior doors. And Dolan's Door Shop can prep your doors for installation. Visit dolanlumber.com for more information.
At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 100 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel bourbon, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the lowest in town. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine & More to find yours. Find what you love what you find. At the lowest price, only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
DQ presents The Sound of Summer Calling.